But he's slick. But he's slick though. Everybody real smooth with they operations out here, man. Everything, people was real slick with their operations. My man said, I'm gonna put the most blatant one where it's like clear that he didn't say what he said and it's not racist, and then we're gonna get into the other stuff. So okay, Stevie, you smart guy, dog. You smart, you slick, bro. You slick.
First name is Chink.
All right. Now we are here for the fun part. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you another conversation from within. And this conversation that I'm bringing here to you is brought to you in part by Mr. Stevie Knight. And it is him making the video on Is This Why Charlie Deserved It, which I'm assuming that he's got a compilation of Charlie's most wildest comments. Comments are up for interpretation. Kind of similar to what everybody's been doing, which is taking the sound clips and the sound bites or whatever and running with the narrative, which, when quotes come from your own mouth, I don't find that wrong in that one, because then, with what he's saying, if people are like, well, watch the whole interviews and then you see what he's talking about in the conversations that he's holding, and with his quotes that follow up, I don't see how people can say that you're taking his quotes out of context. His quotes is pretty on point with what he means. But start with this. Again, Charlie and nobody, this goes for all victims of police brutality. This goes for all of the black leaders that we've had in our past, that have spoken up on things in the government or within, policies in America and the government. Nobody deserves to be shot and taken away in those regards. But I don't ignore the facts, what I'm saying, on what he's saying and the messages that he's delivering, and then the context and the language that he's using. He might not be saying F black folks and all this, but the language and the dialogue that's being had in regards to these certain conversations, which a lot of y'all think DEI and all of that, and we're only seeing one half of it and talking about, well, Charlie says it affects it in this way, so it's got to be true. And it's like, well, he's saying half the story. Did he deserve it? No. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe. We're going to get into this Charlie, Is This Why Charlie Deserved It, and see what Stevie got to say, because Stevie's been on one in the last couple of videos here, man. He's just been on one, and
I'm aware.
It's cool. I understand when you change things up and life gets better. You see things from a different light, and that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You change your tax bracket, you change your location, you don't see the same relation. But for me, I'm always say, you can't forget where you came from. You can't forget your people that go through the same struggle. No matter how you see it, people do go through that stuff in real life every day. Now, this first one, the guy's name is Shank. So even when I sent this to people, I was like, I ain't know people was called that, so I didn't go off that one. I don't think somebody would be that blatant to call somebody that on stage. I believed it at first though, but I was like, it's something about this, the way he's saying it. I'm like, that ain't the word to me. So I had to dial it back, because I almost got caught up. You know what I'm saying? I almost got caught up in like the getting angry part, because a lot of people are angry or emotional. I almost got caught, and the minute I heard that. This was the one-off. This is the one where I'm like, nah, that's the homie's name, so like whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get into it though.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. Brian,
So I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable behavior to say. One person who has admitted to, the affirmative action and DEI. And once again, owning the fact that you benefited from DEI or affirmative action, but you still had to go to school, you still had to work through, because having that advantage, you still had to work 3 times as hard. You still had to work 3 times as hard to get to the status of where you're at. So when you're telling somebody, and once again, his narrative, because I've watched a lot of stuff, and his narrative seems to point towards certain demographics. You know what I'm saying? And in this regard, it's people that look like me, people that look like him. And when you hear a man like that say the things that he says, and then also says that you're stealing the spot from a white guy because you're insinuating that this was given, that's the context that we're talking about. That's the stuff we try to ignore. That's the stuff that Stevie has tried to say, well, people need to stop being so sensitive. This isn't slavery. What he's referring to ain't necessarily slavery times either. Slavery was different from civil rights movement, where you couldn't get jobs and you had to fight the corporate ladder and deal with certain things. And, you know, if little Johnny knew fucking Jack up top, but only had a high school diploma, and you over here with all the credentials plus some and the experience, and then little Johnny over here get it because he know him, like, that was the problem. And that's the thing with history that people are ignoring when it comes to this conversation. Once again, did he deserve it? No. But are we ignoring certain things that he's saying where we know there's a whole other half of it? Yes.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. Yeah. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian. Yeah, that's the point.
So, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, yes, those are 10-second clips, but when someone's saying that, and you go watch to listen to what he's saying, you're like, bro, you just can't say that and think that you're going to slickly say that and think that you're okay, or somebody like myself is going to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, does it affect me in a way where I'm going to get emotionally charged and be like, F Charlie Kirk, and he deserves to get rid of? Nah, goes back to, like, that's not the point. Now, we got to separate the people that are online making the videos and all that weird stuff and celebrating somebody's death. We got to look at them the same way we look at the same people that's on that side that did that throughout time when the same thing was happening. And like I say all the time, it's never fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? In this case, the man's is not here, and people feel away and they don't like what they're seeing. So once again, it goes back to, why aren't people pausing a little bit and thinking about being together as people? Because clearly both people get affected by things in this magnitude. So why hate and why split? Why divide? But what he's saying and the stuff that he's putting out there, just like people say the N-word is divisive, these things and this rhetoric that he's spitting is very divisive, and it's very dangerous. It's dangerous in a way where, the same way where H-Man was preaching similar things, you know what I'm saying? Obviously different cultures, but he's preaching similar things just like this, and he built a mass following, and people followed behind that, and it eventually became what we know now as the H cost. You know what I mean? Like,
own biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. I just said she's probably the greatest gymnast of all time. She's also very selfish. She's immature.
Discrimination and slavery are two different issues. Yeah, I mean, one literally was abolished hundreds of years ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when people keep being like, this isn't slavery, I'm like, nobody's talking about slavery. I haven't heard not one person that is complaining bring up slavery. We're talking about discrimination in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about current times. We're talking about times from our parents and our grandparents. You know what I mean?
And she is a shame to the country.
LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart. LeBron James chronically cheats.
So shut up and dribble things, you know what I mean? Now granted, we see the memes where LeBron got the book upside down and all this shit like that, but to insult a man's intelligence for what? I don't know. Y'all have the same level of education. You know what I'm saying? You graduated high school, right? Bron graduated high school. So how is he not smart, but you a genius? You see how we can flip this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really what I'm getting at, because I'm not here to, you know what I mean, defend what Kirk says at all, because none of it's right for me. It doesn't align with what I stand with and who I stand by. It doesn't align. So this isn't really like I'm defending what Kirk is saying at all. This is just pointing out the inconsistencies in, like, how, because I know homie's about to defend some of this shit because we just seen his other video, but we're just going to talk about how none of this stuff is okay to be saying about people in 2025, and then you're masking it and dressing it up for something that it's not. And then people are running with it and be like, well, it's his opinion. Opinion is pancakes and waffles, right? This is a different type of rhetoric. You know what I mean? This is not like, yes, it's his opinion, but it's also an opinion that has been shared by people from other nationalist groups and other groups that we know of. Like, this is the part that I understand. And then we get into, is he going to get there? Is he going to talk about
his
certain
wife,
things?
obviously.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, this is just homie's intro or whatever. But all right, damn, I'm pausing towards the intro. We got a lot more. Fuck. But anyway, before I get into that, it's more like he also, you know, people can spit the word of gospel and be bad people or mean harm with what they're using. It's just that they're using that as the thing that they know people hold on to and use as a crutch or use as something to go back towards and lean on, and people gravitate towards that because everybody believes in faith, and not everybody, but a lot of people believe in the Lord and have faith. So when you kick that, all that other stuff gets blinded. I mean, shit, I didn't see people turn the other cheek just because of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's cool. And this is where I have my gripe with religion a little bit, because it's like a selective of picking and choosing of what's acceptable and like what's not. You know what I'm saying? It's real weird in regards to that. And I've seen it dating my exes, like people and family, and just certain things that was accepted and what wasn't and stuff like that. And like in the book, I thought we supposed to accept every and anybody, right? But some people take those words because it's perspective and how you read and how you interpret it. You know what I'm saying? Interpret it. And you take it and you flip it and you get people to ride by your side. It's weird. And I ask y'all as people in the chat, like, we heard bits and pieces of that. How can we flip that and make it seem like that wasn't like racist rhetoric? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we flip that and make it seem like it's not? That's an honest ask. You know what I'm saying? This is the conversation that we have, because we don't like to hold up that mirror in front of ourselves and look at it and look in it and maybe think to ourselves, maybe we have some ill thoughts about people, races, religions, and stuff like that. We don't like to see the ugly in ourselves. And this is the moment where nobody wants to hold the mirror up in front of ourselves and be like, okay, maybe we do as a collective and as a society have an issue. Like, for real, for real. But
Yeah, as of lately, I've been flooded with videos from those who are in disagreement with me and are justifying Kirk's.
Also, how you doing, Carol? I didn't mean to not say hi back. My fault. How you doing, Carol? And I'm very well looking forward to chatting with y'all on Sunday.
Demise due to things that he has said on the internet, man. And I've put together a compilation of videos that convey this point. So let's do it. Let's start with the most vicious video where Kirk is racially profiling the Asian man in the audience by calling him a chink.
Yeah, you're trying to attack me, which is ridiculous, like asking me what my salary is. Sure, I'll reveal it willingly.
You brought it up in context. I'm asking, why don't you live like a socialist?
Okay.
Go live like a socialist.
The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe. No. What do I do? I get charity every single year.
I'm going to fast forward past that because we all know he didn't call him that word. And that's a terrible way to start. But we all, once again, we were so emotionally like hot that it sounded like that. And then even me, I said, nah, he said shank. I was like, I don't know if I've ever heard somebody call that word and say shank. And then somebody corrected me and was like, that's his name. And I said, oh, I stand corrected. And you see how easy that was to own and be like, all right, I thought he said this, but he really said homie's name. That's fine. And that's a one-off. That's a one-off.
Oh my God.
What's my salary?
I can own that. Cause I was ready. I was ready to jump on his ass with this, but I'm like, nah, ain't no way somebody's just out there calling somebody like that on stage. And then when you listen, you're like, shank, like, fucking shank or whatever the fuck he said, shank. We know the real word. Like, if he was gonna say it, he was gonna say it. So I gave the pass on that. With the rest, I don't know.
All right, behave, everyone.
The rest of the shit was crazy.
Okay. Charlie.
I don't even want to listen to that part.
What Haas's salary was? Simple question.
But he's slick. But he's slick though.
Everybody real smooth with they operations out here, man. Everything, people was real slick with their operations. My man said, "Yo, I'm gonna put the most blatant one where it's like clear that he didn't say what he said and it's not racist, and then we're gonna get into the other stuff." So, okay, yo, Stevie, you smart guy, dog. You smart, you slick, bro. You slick.
First name is Chink.
Shank.
Chank, however you pronounce it, bro. Bro's first name is Chank. I don't even say anything else. Next up, the video where Kirk says black women are idiots and they do not have the brain processing power to be taken seriously.
We're gonna talk about that because I don't even know how you gonna fucking Dennis Rodman your way out of the bag on this one. Like, how you gonna do this? How are you gonna do this one? Because this is where we're gonna have to completely disagree on this one. And anybody in the comments, we gotta completely disagree on this. Like, we cannot act like this was okay to say at all.
And Michelle Obama.
It's the brain processing power. Like, if he would have been like, there ain't really no way to get the fuck out of this one, because he made it worse by saying they lack brain power. Like, what? They have more degrees and credentials than your ass that's sitting up here talking about them. That's the part this is the one that got me hot. I ain't gonna lie. If anything, this one got me hot. And I don't think Michelle's ever actually verbally said I've owned or embraced DEI or affirmative action. I don't think she's openly said it. Now, Joy, she has, but I'm gonna let it finish. Dog.
And Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today.
So what's funny about that is that I can pull up, because it's not necessarily, it's everything really, actually. It's the brain processing power part for me, right? It's that on top of you had to steal a white person's slot. So y'all can agree with DEI and all of whatever in regards to that, whoever's out there flying with this narrative of stuff, but listen to the other words. Black people have always been looked at as stupid, right? Black people have always been looked at as their exotic pets. You know what I'm saying? This is history. This is a history lesson right here. And this is the stuff that people don't like to talk about, because this is documented history too. And people have been looked at as exotic pets. We're only good for dancing, sports, and entertainment. And I wish I was able to pull this up. And maybe he even said it, but I won't put that on his jacket. But oh no, he definitely said it. He was on the lines of saying like, oh yeah, if you notice, there's no DEI in sports. They always get the best athletes in that. There's no DEI in entertainment and stuff like that. Back in the times, because once again, we try to act like, it's slavery. But even in civil rights movement, like, we're only looked at as entertainers, dancers, and sports players, dog. So it's like you're saying that, and after they earned and had to fight, because I can almost promise you the Michelle Obamas and the Joys, yeah, they had benefited off of that. And that's another part. They benefited off of that. And there's nothing wrong with owning to benefit for it. But to say that I'm only here, because that's what he's focused on. I'm only here, which I don't even think she said, but I'm only here because of DEI, as if it was a handout and I don't have the brains. I didn't go to school. I didn't learn. I didn't study. Do you see how disrespectful that could be and detrimental that could be to people listening? That's crazy. And the fact that Stevie's about to even justify this, and I'm about to listen to him justify it, I'm already sick. Because there's no way you can justify your way out of this paper bag, dog. You can't justify that at all. You heard how I broke all of that down. You can't talk like that. You can talk like that, but it's not right. It's not right. And again, as we go down this line, does it deserve for somebody to do what they did? Nah. But I've watched people that look like me and whoever else talk positive shit and get shot for it. They talk that positive. They talk bringing it together, give us rights, and they got shot for it, dog. And we ain't even talking about Martin Luther King. We talking about the Fred Hamptons of the world and shit. They shot him in his crib with his wife and kid in the bed. So that's another reason why people gonna be screaming that like this ain't nothing but a rerun for us. So nobody deserves it, but asking for the sympathy points and all that, I think that's a little bit extra. Let people grieve how they want to grieve. Stop telling people how they should feel.
Person slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
But what I really want to bring attention to is how they're portraying this as if he's generalizing all black women. Oh, Charlie Kirk says black women do not have brain processing power. When did he say black women do not have brain processing power? He named these women by their name. They just happen to be black. That does not mean he's racist. That means he said these names with his whole chest, and he's telling people how he feels about these particular women who were picked up by affirmative action. And affirmative action is a very contentious topic. Everyone does not agree upon affirmative action.
All right. So he took two examples to defend his point on DEI and how they stole white men's spot. It's still a nasty narrative. Like, we don't have to generalize it to still go and attack what we in right now. We attacking because what is she? What she represent? I know what Michelle represent, but what party she represent? You know what I'm saying? Because why don't he say that off about Candace Owens then? You know what I'm saying? Why he not saying that about Candace Owens?
Women,
I don't know,
do not have brain processing power. Portraying this, but
action, and particularly.
Okay, she another Democrat then too. I bet.
In higher education.
Because remember, we out here splitting parties and shit too. So
action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color. But I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
But
that was slick though. That was
Charlie
slick.
Kirk says black women do not have brain processing power. When did he say black women do not have brain processing
they are
power?
black
He
women.
named these women by their name. They just happen to be black.
He also happens to bring up the names that constantly get dragged in the mud and saying that they don't deserve to be where they're at. So like those just are prime examples of like what people go to. Just like when people be like, well, Kirk can't be racist. He's friends with Candace Owens and all this other shit. Like we're playing the same games here, man. We can't keep doing this. We really can't keep doing this, man. You know what I mean? We really can't keep moving the goalposts for the narrative. Just because he used an example doesn't mean so he only feels that way about them, bro. You can look me just like that with that face and tell me that he only meant that about them specifically because of the context of how you're breaking it down, even though he's had constant rhetoric where he's had a disagreement about how this shit works. He just happens to use two names this time because he's had this conversation multiple times, Kirk, in regards to this. Damn, bro.
That does not mean he's racist. That means he said these names with his whole chest, and he's telling people how he feels about these particular women who were picked up by affirmative action. And affirmative action is a very contentious topic. Everyone does not agree upon affirmative action, and they have the right to have differing opinions on affirmative action, which does not mean that they're racist. Hell, I don't like affirmative.
This is all true. Once again, we about to go like 80-20 with Stevie again. Like, I'm going to be 20% with like his points on certain shit, but the backing of it is, I don't think is what I'm with. I don't think I'm with the backing of it.
Affirmative action. Does that mean that I deserve to die?
See, and that's another thing is that people are like, and that's where it's like, yo, go outside, go in real life. Like, fuck the people that be online that ain't got nothing else better to do. That's just making content just like everybody else. Because in today's world, it's clickbait. It's clickbait based. You know what I'm saying? So if people are out here doing whatever, like they risking their jobs doing that, but they getting their views, they getting their clicks, they getting their engagement. You got to realize there's a game to be played, and it's a nasty game on both sides. So you can't really go based off of how people are online just making the you should get rid of somebody content and stuff like that. It's really about having real conversations like how I'm trying to do right now. You know what I'm saying? It's really about that. And nobody in their right mind, anybody with some sense, ain't saying homie should be out of here because of his what we deem an opinion. I guess racism is opinions now in today's world. To say that it doesn't make doesn't make him racist, I can go like 70-30 with you on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, you know, and I fuck 70-30. I'll just go, I guess, with that one. You know, if you're going to talk about these things that literally your parents and your grandparents fought for and shit, and like, you know, people fought for and shit, and then he's going against it, I can't say that that's not racist. That's just me with knowing history, because you're only focused on slavery. I'm focused on our parents and our grandparents' times. You know what I'm saying, brother? I'm focused on that, and I can't go that route with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with that, and I don't like the whole nobody should be killed over their opinion narrative as well, because it's like it's a sticky one. That's why I'm pausing on this one. It's a sticky one because you can go back to a lot of black activists, because they were real activists back then. This guy was a social media influencer. And once again, I think this is why I'm like not triggered, not bothered, but there's so much going through my mind, because I'm like, he's just a social media influencer who happened to mingle and run around with politicians. So why are we holding him up to these standards of making it seem like he was a politician, like he was in government? Like, who was he for real outside of somebody that's doing what we all do? He just happened to have a large backing and had the dollar signs behind him. So painting him up to be a political person and all this based off of his conversations, that for me, I feel like if he was going to really have them real debate with some real people that know the whole thing and got some life experiences and, you know, aren't just, you know, 22-year-olds that are at very pristine schools, which that's no knock against them, because some of them was kicking his ass. But I think Charlie knew who he could pick on to get his shit off. And that's what I don't like. He's able to pick on the less educated or the emotional or whoever it may be to get those points. And then people rally behind him. And once again, it's half truths, half stories and stuff. But that whole deserve to die thing, that's an online narrative and not a real life narrative. Like, online is not real life in my opinion. You know what I mean? What people do online versus how they really engage and interact in real life seem to be two different things. Clearly, you can see how people are when they've all gotten fired for acting crazy online after this and the stuff that's happened back in the past.
The entitlement, bro. How dare he say something negative about the black women that we love? Just because y'all love them don't mean he got to fucking love them. He has his reasons. Right? Joy Reid, come on now. Joy Reid, come on now. Right? And I know the black community is all enticed and enamored by Michelle Obama, but everybody don't feel that way, including me, including a whole bunch of people that.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't like how he air quoted the black community and shit either. I don't like how he's moving right now, dog. He's moving real shaky right now. Like, I ain't got no problem, but I'm like, the black nigga, you black. Like, the fuck you air quoting black community and shit for, bro? Like, that's just me. That got me hot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you almost kind of like disassociating yourself from the black community and shit. Like, it's just that is, I don't know, Stevie, bro. What's going on with you, man? This shit got you hot, bro? This shit got you hot too, man?
Got this on their skin. Does that mean they racist? Nah, it just means we don't like that motherfucker. It don't matter if she's white, black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the fuck. We just do not like what that woman is. We don't like how this particular person is for whatever reason. And we have the right to have our opinion about that. But does that mean that they're racist? No. But the glaring...
So when does it not become racist, I guess, right? Is like really where I'm at, because since opinions are now folded into like, or since racism seems to be blended in with opinions and shit, and it's like, I guess we won't say he racist because he's not saying that he hates anybody for the color of their skin or whatever. So I guess we can't say he racist. But does he have discriminatory ways? Is he prejudiced? Is he all them other isses and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe so. They're all one in the same pot for me. But it's just funny. Ah, man, let's take a pause. Let's see what y'all think in the comments, man. I see y'all kind of agree. Y'all got certain things to say. Divisiveness, 100%. I agree. Like, I've been saying that from the beginning of the time, man. From the last shit, what? Almost going on 12 years at this point, man. We're in what, year 9? Yeah, I mean, it's been very split down the road, and maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm starting to pay attention to these things a lot more too. But even if you disagree with Charlie, that's what he was trying to do too. Have conversations. He's trying to talk to them while they in very progressive left-leaning places. It wasn't a pick on because he don't even got the college degree. I think a lot of POVs are going based solely on personal life experience. Everyone is though. Nah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong from that. But I think for me, man, the POV is coming from what this man has actually said. And that's the thing that I disagree with, how people are reacting to it. Because if you're listening to the words that he says, if you pay attention to how divisive it is, if you're aware of, once again, I got to go back to, if you're aware of the civil rights movements and stuff like that, this language isn't okay. I don't know if we're far removed from understanding the whole details and the ins and outs of what that detailed, but that's what makes it dangerous, is because I don't think people know. And it's like, he wasn't having, if you're having a conversation, I feel like you got to tackle the whole story. And from what I listened to, because I didn't just listen to, you know what I'm saying, the compilations and stuff. Yeah, I listen to compilations and stuff, but I'm a person where I need to go on Google. I need to go hear the whole thing. I need to catch the context and stuff like that. And if your context isn't opposite of what I already heard from your snippet, which already looked bad, then I can't rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't back that. And then even, for example, with this whole empathy comment, he's only using half the definition. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not based off of, like, it's part of that, man. There's honestly, it's part of personal experiences and point of views and stuff, but it's going back to what he said. He's half truth in his way. He half truth his way throughout the whole thing, to the point to even the definition of the word empathy. Yeah, I mean, that's the part that got me, is that he half stepped so much that he even did it in his big quotable. You know what I'm saying? He half stepped that. If you're half stepping a definition and getting a quotable out of your half step definition, how can I fully trust that you're thoroughly giving the information to the people correctly? How can I trust that you're not misinforming people with your rhetoric? You know why? Because you leave out the stuff that people would actually question, or people would actually get back onto you for, where you actually had to have a rebuttal versus, see, well, that's why a Democrat can't talk with me. You know, they're emotional. Like, you have to, that's the part that fucks you up. Yeah, words can be taken out of context, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Words can be taken out of context, but also language and what you say and how you say it and what you're using to describe what you're at, it can't be taken out of context when you're focused on set point. You know what I mean? Like, I can't take what Kirk said and what we've been listening to so far out of context. The only thing I can take out of context is Shank. You know what I'm saying? That's just me being honest, is Shank, because that sounds too close. And that's a great clip to have, because our minds are trained to think that he's racist. And so once again, I made that mistake, like, wow, he called an Asian person that name on stage. And then once again, I dialed it back. We was in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Somebody corrected me and I stood corrected. But what bothered me as well is that though I get corrected on something and I'd be like, I bet, people still don't want to acknowledge that what he's saying is dangerous. You know what I mean? Despite having an opinion, like, you can have an opinion on shit, but to spread it amongst 4,000 plus people and spread that danger, because it's not an opinion, he's spreading things.
Issue about this is how they're trying to paint bro as a racist, because he felt some type of way about 4 particular women. Just the simple fact that one of his first hires was Candace fucking Owens, bro.
What I say, you know what I'm saying, about this Candace Owens shit, you know what I'm saying? You always got to get
we all watch. I don't know if a lot of y'all watch Django, and I'm going there with that one. We all gotta get a little Django character every now and then. Saying you see how she be talking about motherfuckers, dog. Like, and I'll put it like this. And what makes it worse, because it goes back to I went to school in like a new public school, dog. So like I am a full believer in that. Motherfuckers use that token black guy shit. They use that. You know what I mean? Like they go that route, bro. They use the token shit.
Last time I checked, she was black.
And then on top of that, I just had to get to where I was at with that. But also, man, people are using Candace Owen as like she represents all black people. And that's the problem as well, too. And I've seen that when I be on this channel and doing my thing with certain things. People will always try to tell me to go listen to that black person that supports set issue. And all black folk don't think or view shit the same. So people need to stop being like, oh, well, they got this person. You know how many people I know that I was cool with and I was in their houses and shit, but they've called me a nigga right after, or they've said some wild shit or had these political views. So just because you happen to have that one black friend or whatever the case may be does not exempt you from being racist. It doesn't exempt you from the things that you say just because now here's the thing. He's saying what he says, but because he says what he says, because Candace Owen is by his side, it doesn't deem to be like a racist statement. It doesn't deem him being racist. I don't get that, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk either. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And Candace Owens is a prime example of that. You know what I mean? And that's okay, but don't try to mark her up as somebody that's for us, because it don't seem like she's for black folks, if you ask me. But I don't get into Candace Owens too much. Just the things I hear her say, I'd be like, oh, okay, you one of them. You know what I'm saying? There's always one of them.
I mean, there's a bunch of black folks.
How come all y'all keep naming Candace Owens and y'all ain't got no other names for me too? That's another thing. Like, outside of Candace Owens, what other names y'all got for me? Y'all keep using this Candace Owens thing. You know what I'm saying? We need more examples outside of Candace Owens to be like, see, you can't tell me like, oh, he got a black friend, or oh, he got black friends. He can't be. That's like the oldest trick in the book. That's the oldest trick in the book, is to associate yourself with black folks to deflect who you truly are. We don't talk about that shit, huh? We ain't talking about that, huh, Stevie?
Don't consider Candace Owens black because of what she says.
Listen, everybody black, but just because you black don't mean you for black either. You know what I'm saying? Just because you white don't mean you for white either. You see how people treat white folks, they end lovers and all that. You know what I'm saying? Just like how people will call you the C word. You know what I'm saying? They call you that word. So there's all of that. All of that exists, dog. This is what I'm saying. Like, we gotta be transparent here, bro. We gotta lift the veil, B. We gotta lift the whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? Because we just like to lift little pieces of the curtain up and be like, see, ha ha ha. Like, nah, pull that whole shit up. Let's talk about everything. Because I'm gonna talk about everything type of guy, and I'll pull both sides. Cause we got this shit going on, Manders. We got this shit. This is why we got this shit going on. We got everybody saying something about somebody instead of just being like, yo, let's just pull up the whole veil and like let's talk about everything. Let's not talk about half truths. Cause and honestly, we asked that question, but we gotta once again, we gotta put the mirror in front of ourselves. This is our history. This is our culture. This is literally what America is. And the minute we start addressing and actually acknowledging that, instead of trying to be like, no, we're not that. We're so progressive. We're so diverse. Then why are we here? Why are we in these spots every single time we turn around, but we're so diverse and we're so progressive and we're so open? No, we still operate off of the Confederacy. We still operate off of supremacy. We still operate off of racism. We operate off of discrimination. This is our nation. This is literally our nation, dog. And it's sad because some people understand that, but the people that matter want to keep acting like that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep pushing us to black, white, left, right, blue, red. Did I miss something? Maybe. But this is all up top. We all are playing this game that we don't even know the whole rules to. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know the rules to the game like that.
You ask me, that's much more racist than anything Kirk has uttered, because Kirk has never
what Stevie got to say
based
right
anything
now.
off the color of your skin. It's all about policy. But here you have a collection of black folk that are targeting specific black folk because of the color of their skin and the fact that they say things, right? So, I mean, who's more racist in all this, bro? But anyway,
wait, what the fuck?
Let's continue.
What do you say?
Black folk has never based anything off the color of your skin. It's all about policy. But here you have a collection of black folk that are targeting specific black folk because of the color of their skin and the fact that they say things, right? So, I mean, who's more racist in all this, bro? But anyway, let's continue. The whole
I ain't gonna lie, I will say, I don't know what he was trying to get at, but if this is what I think he was trying to get at, I will say, and a lot of people ain't gonna like me for this one, you know what I'm saying? But I am full in agreement with this one. We can always talk about that. Just as much as white folks can be racist, black folks can be racist too. They can be racist towards each other. They can be racist towards other races, just like other races are racist towards us. I will stand on that, and ain't nobody gonna tell me otherwise. I know people really think that we can't be racist, dog. And as soon as I ask the question, like, okay, so, you know, the KKK or, you know, the KKK, they believe in keeping it white, not mixing the races, X, Y, and Z. We call that racist, right? Now we flip it on the other end. And this will always blow my mind, and nobody can answer this question to me. We say the same thing. Our culture literally says, stay with the black woman, stay with the black man, keep the bloodline black. And then we also have problems, not we, because I don't, but our culture also has problems dating white women specifically, Spanish women sometime, or anything outside the race. So how are we not racist, right? If we share the same ideologies as the white race does when it comes to mixing races. Let's just talk about mixing races. How are we not racist, but we don't want to mix races? And if we're going to pretend that our people or our community don't do that all of a sudden, shit, then I guess I must have been living in the Matrix my whole life. You know what I'm saying? But that's really what it is for me. As simple as that. How come it's okay for us to say keep it black families, everything, don't mix the bloodlines, but the minute the white men say it with the sheets and the pillow covers and stuff, it's racist. That's my only stand. I always have had an issue with black folks saying that we not racist. I don't believe that. But right back to it.
Black pilot conversation. How dare he say anything about a black pilot? All right, I'll give y'all a little more context where he's going back and forth with a black individual.
So my thing with him on this whole, like, because he's ripping and turning and twisting and dipping and spinning and swaying on this whole black pilot, black women. He's trying to specify it. But do you not notice the pattern here that when he looks at us, he thinks that we're not qualified? Is that something that you're not comprehending, or is that something different? Do you view that as something different? Because every time he's wondering about somebody, if they're qualified for something, it's black in front of it. That's another thing. Like, these are his words, and not one time has he been like, and if there's proof out there, not one time have I seen him be like, well, geez, if I seen that white guy over there, you know what I'm saying, teaching history, I wonder, gee, is he qualified to teach history? You don't hear him saying that about white people, and that's the problem too. Like, homie, don't be saying this about white folks. I don't even hate to make it about race, because this is about race. Because his whole main focus and target every time has seemed to have been black folks. Like, he's got an issue with black folks reaping the benefits of DEI, affirmative action, and shit like that, knowing that 50 years ago, if that wasn't in place, we'd be in that place still today. So that's why I don't understand why my man's, is it because he does social media now and he's like, is that his main thing? Like, he's got the book, he's got his merch, so he's making his own money. He's in a different tax bracket, which, once again, I am never mad. I'm trying to do the same shit. But will I start thinking that way or having this mindset or this mentality when I get there? Nah, because I still know what it is. You can't forget where you came from, dog. You can't forget where you came from, B. You know what I'm saying? You can't forget who you were. You can't forget who you came from. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go there with this one. And I don't feel this way, but I see this is why people be getting at brothers when they date outside their race, because that's what people are gonna use. I've seen it. People would be like, "Oh, he's dating that white girl and married to this white woman," whatever the case may be, and that's why he's thinking like that. And I hate that. That seems to be the stigma when that happens. But you just gotta think about some shit sometimes. I know you don't care about what people think, but you have this platform, and I know a lot of black folks follow you. Shit, I'm a black man that subscribe to this shit. It's not gonna make me unsubscribe to you, brother, because at the end of the day, you have your opinion. This is an opinion-based situation. You know what I'm saying? This seems to be, because he's defending something that isn't opinionated, but he's defending it because he has an opinion on it. But historically, we know that this stuff is generally harmful opinions. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can have an opinion, but sometimes some of them stink. You know what I mean?
About this particular topic.
So when you see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? That's what DEI does. It makes you ask questions you otherwise would not ask.
The airline industry is going to...
What's crazy is that that shit never crosses my mind. Do the comments, chat, is that the type of shit that runs through y'all mind? Like, y'all be looking at, because who else are we looking at? Because he's not saying white men or anything that has people that look like him or whatever. He's looking at us. He's looking at a woman. He's looking at a foreigner that doesn't look like him and being like, are they qualified? How does this not compute to a lot of people that this is rhetoric that's dangerous, it's nasty, it's racist, it's disgusting? How do we not see this? And this is only the first occasion, because he's got a whole other video where he's talked about this. So one debate, which whatever, but
going to take an unqualified person just based off diversity.
Underqualified, not
underqualified, whatever, uncertified, and put them in a cockpit and risk people's lives.
Those are two different things. Under and un are two different things. Of course, United Airlines will not take someone off the side of the street and put them into a pilot. But in order to reach a 40% goal, they might cut.
See, he like using them numbers and shit too. Like, you know, it's once again, when you use, I think stats aren't facts. You know what I'm saying? Stats help an argument when you're in a debate to prove your point, but it don't give you the whole result or give you the whole answers. But once again, he's using this to the point.
Corners, they might accelerate the process in order to reach a goal.
What point is he getting across, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what point is he trying to get across outside of every time he sees? Because once again, every time he sees a black person, he thinks DEI, and he thinks that they didn't earn it. He thinks that the company needed to make the quota versus they just qualified for the job. And that's also the part where it's like, your wording and your language is sounding very shaky. Not you, Manders. Talking about Kirky.
This through all sorts of DEI examinations and projects over the last 10 years. You have to choose in life. Either excellence or racial quotas will end up being the most important. And both.
He's mixing it though, because at the end of the day, you still need those. You're not like. Your knowledge, he's saying in jobs where your knowledge matters, DEI shouldn't exist. But that's the problem. It should, because if there's somebody whose knowledge and their credentials and experience is better, but if we don't have DEI and then that person's like, well, I just like this, you know, we got to keep it black and white because that's what he's doing. I like fucking Jimmy better than Jerome. I'm mad that I went that route, but I don't give a fuck. Like, that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, that's why we have it to where we have it, because you heard what he just said. His brain goes to, we'll just use the two women that he has, but I guess it's only just them two. But if your brain is telling you they don't have the brain processing power, so that means when somebody's hiring, that means the knowledge that we're talking about, they're going to be like, they don't have the brain processing power or have the knowledge to do this job. So I'm not hiring this person, even if they do have the credentials and everything else. And that was always the problem. You see where I'm trying to get at? You see where I'm getting at with that, Manders? What people's thinking about that? Who's really out here thinking about DEI? Like the employees or the employer?
Cannot simultaneously.
This conversation has absolutely nothing to do with someone being black. It has all to do with policy. You take black away. Could be someone Asian. Was that Asian? It would never be that because Asians excel in everything academic-wise. But here we're taking people that...
That's racist, buddy.
...are because Asian...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Manders. I'm trying to tell you or ask you if you remove that, because he's using that as a focal point, and that's not how it works. He's trying to tell us that's how it works. That's not how it works. Quota, all right, man. Once again, it goes back to like numbers only work to fit your benefit. Like, if we're going to act like we're doing that every single time, we have to understand, like, it still goes back to this is why these things was implemented, dog. If we're going to use numbers, there's got to be something, right? You got to hit some sort of quote. It's a business. But that's not real in our society. That's the only thing. Our society, when you go fill out a job application, and that's actually the perfect point into this. If you go fill out a job application and I check off black, African American descent, whatever, Latino, Hispanic, white, Caucasian, Asian, whatever, Pacific Islander maybe, I don't know. But that's the point. If we were just people, Manders, we wouldn't be on our job applications checking off a race box.
Could be someone Asian. Was that Asian? It would never be that because Asians excel in everything academic-wise. But here we're taking people that are underqualified.
Sound a little Kirky there, buddy. Well, not all of them. Not all excel, buddy. Chill out, buddy.
Could be someone Asian. Was that Asian? It would never be that because Asians excel in everything academic-wise. But here we're taking people that are underqualified than others that are...
He said that shit with a straight face, though. You know what I'm saying? Like... I'm gonna point out everything right here. We all do it, bro. We all do some shit. We all be doing some shit.
More qualified. That is a topic of conversation. It just so happens that those that are underqualified compared to their superior competitors are being picked over due to the color of their skin. That is not fair. That's not based off merit and has nothing to do with race, all to do with policy. I can't stand DEI either, bro. It's detrimental to society, bro, because it's not conducive of best performance. It's not conducive of the most proficient. It's not conducive of excellence. It's conducive of mediocrity. Say, for instance, the roles was reversed and black people were the ones that excel in everything. Well, flip it. You, as a black person, scored off the charts on everything, pilot, 100. 110, however the ranking system is. Your destiny with being a pilot is written. You that motherfucker. Your whole life, people have been telling you that. You know it is by how much better you are than everybody. This is your passion, what you love. And the time to get picked up by Delta, you get selected over by, let's say it's someone you're familiar with. You know that they're not a better pilot than you. You got better scores, you fly better. Maybe you even know of them personally, right? And they happen to be a Pakistani lesbian woman. Is that fair? It's the logical way to view things. But, we're here viewing things. Well, not we're. Y'all are here viewing things with an emotional lens. Logic no longer exists.
I like to say it's just like historical.
And
like,
you label.
Because I'm not, I don't feel a way about anything. I'm like, I'm working. I got a full time, you know what I mean? Like, I do this on the side. But have I had my racist experiences? Yes, I have. You know what I'm saying? Have I went through racist experiences in the school system? Yes, I have. So I'm just not going to front and act like this ain't the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I emotionally on this? Not really. Yeah, I mean, so once again, generalizing everybody and shit is just the wrong approach. Some people may feel like that, but not all, my brother.
Logic no longer exists. But, you know, we're here viewing things. Well, not we're. Y'all are here viewing things with an emotional lens. Logic no longer exists.
I just got a question for him because he's saying that he doesn't think it should exist. So, Stevie, do you think if DEI or affirmative action never was passed or didn't go through, do you think you would be in the same position that you're in today? Do you think you would have been able to excel the way that you're excelling today without any of that? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like the world would be the same for you and for me and for your mom and for your dad and for whoever in your family that looks just like us? Do you think the world would be the same for us if the civil rights movement didn't happen, if affirmative action wasn't a thing in general? Because you saying that means that we got to go back to the 60s and then go all the way up here and see how it is for us. So that's like my whole big thing.
And you label someone a racist for it when there's not a racist. Well, I don't know. I can't even say that. I can't say he's not racist, right? I would never know what's going on in someone's head or how they think if they're hiding it from me. But from everything I've seen Kirk say and how he presents himself, how he articulates himself, how he justifies his perspective in this point, I have not seen a racist undertone in anything. It's just people putting this label on him because of how they feel about what he says. Most of y'all won't even entertain the justification of his perspectives because you're already emotionally triggered by a statistic that he's provided for you. You know, blacks kill more than anybody. It's going to trigger a bunch of people. Mainly,
it only triggers the people that know that that's not that think that that's true. We know that that's not true. We know that that's not true. So, like, once again, your point's being disproven again. Like, nobody's feeling that way. It just sounds stupid that he's saying that because he's got people believing that silly shit.
And the black demographic, and they're so triggered that they're not even going to sit there and listen to the justification for it. But if you look at the statistics per capita, that's the fact. Literally angry at facts. And we come up with all this victimhood and subjugation and redlining and slavery and the sob story. Everybody got a sob story, but it's how you get over the sob story. Right? Speaking of that, I got a video for that one. And we'll take a brief intermission of me cutting through the videos that's got everybody triggered, man. But there's a video I just came across that drives that point perfectly. Where is it? Where'd that motherfucker go?
Right. So when segregation ended, right, black people, or when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison. And after...
It's okay. No. What's your name? Guys, what's your name?
Jackson.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no,
Let's just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm not here to pick on you.
No,
and I appreciate it. No, it's okay. I know that this can be very intimidating getting a crowd like this. So just take a deep breath. Let me make your argument. I'm going to make your argument for you, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's wrong. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the argument that is being made that you want to make is
to his point here. This is his main thing every time. He's like, "Oh, you can't really tell me or articulate what you're trying to tell me. Let me tell it for you." And then he's about to get the round of applause and shit right after. This is like his whole niche.
That there's legacies of injustice.
Yes.
And that those legacies impact one generation after the other. And when those things get handed down, you have what is a system or a systemic issue that isn't just isolated in 2024. Mm-hmm. So the argument that you're making is that what happened in 1954 does impact 2024 of decade after decade after decade. Let me tell you my response to that. Of course, there is some truth to that. However, every culture, every person in this audience can point to issues that families or generations prior had that were able to overcome. So the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome?
Well, for one, reparations. The U.S. has always somehow given back to set communities or set people that they've done wrong throughout times, you know, from the Asian culture to, you know, who he's just talking about right now. I'm just drawing a blank off the top of my head, but
such evil, horrors, and injustices. Here's my
Native
perspective,
Americans,
and I
sorry.
want to hear what you have to say. Is that the
I think the best we had to get or fought for,
number
'cause
one?
we had to fight for that. You know what I mean? Because we forget that, like, yo, we had our own shit, man. We had shit going for us, bro. It's just that white folks was mad that we was no longer their slaves, and it was fucking up a lot of the economy for that. And as soon as we had our own little towns and Tulsa and shit, you know what I'm saying, they started bombing our towns, Black Wall Street, you know what I'm saying, they started fucking shit up. So it's like we telling half the story. Like, I will scream as always, and I don't know if Stevie has ever said this in any of his rants, but it doesn't seem like he would, because it doesn't seem like he's advocating for black folks as much versus just being like, black folks get over it, this happened, this, that, and the third. Like, are we forgetting about, like, you know, our own towns, bro?
One way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices. Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say. Is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around, which we agree that's an ideal. Yeah? Cool. Yeah. And so what happened in 1964 is that 25%
Like,
of...
we really forgetting that they literally would go into our towns and fuck them up to set us back. And then even after slavery, like, they had the KKK got created mainly because of that. They've always been trying to police and keep folks down prior to that. And then we had to fight so hard just to get some damn regular rights of going to a job and being able to vote and shit like that in the 60s. So again, I asked the question, everything he's saying, all right, cool. But do you see that still being the same if that wasn't implemented? Like, we try to act like that's not a thing still. Like, we're downplaying it.
Black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay.
So even with that, we forget that. Oh my God, this is about to break my brain again. Like, so do we forget about the war on drugs? Say no to drugs, the crack epidemic. Do we forget that, like, they've done things? The government has done things to literally be like, oh, they making an uprising, they doing this. Fuck that, throw that in there. I mean, shit, dog. Look at fucking the hip hop space, dog. Like, what influences the black culture more than anything? Music, right? And hip hop, before it turned into where it turned into, it was very uplifting, everything. And now we're so far gone into that bag that the only thing you hear now is what he tries to talk about. It's detrimental now. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many other bits and pieces of this that just literally don't stand true to what he's saying. And like I said, these numbers don't mean shit when you actually go down, like, the events in history that all played a part into it. Every little bits and pieces, mass incarceration. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are not conspiracies. These are true things. You know what I'm saying? Planting drugs on people and putting them in jail. 3 strikes rule. Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pops alone, falsely accused for murder, standing on the corner, coming from Alabama and Massachusetts, and a cop pulls up on him like, hey, you, and you did a murder and shit, and gets him binged up. And this is in the 70s. This is in the 70s. So you can't tell me, y'all can't be telling me none of this shit, bro. Y'all can't tell me a lot of this shit ain't real.
I misjudged you at first.
I'm just catching up on you guys' comments a little bit as we pause and take a break. I told you it's going to be a little extended, but it's a discussion that we got to have, dog. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen with the black fathers and just the black male figure in the household that he's not focusing on. And the government plays a big part in that. Mass incarcerations alone is a big part of that. Drugs within the community is easily what breaks up the homes, dog. Prison, all that. So,
mic drop, bro. Like, what racism? All this is holding the black community accountable. But since he's white, he's racist, right? You see a black man, me, holding the black community accountable. No, you're a coon because you don't see it from our perspective. You're attacking us, right? All he's doing is holding the black community accountable, and accountability gets you to the top. But black folks are so emotionally driven,
appreciate you, LC.
emotionally played, emotionally capitalized off of, when you lift that veil and actually listen to what someone's saying that has an opposing perspective than you, which is meant to help the black community.
See, what's crazy is that I'm listening and I'm like literally being like, well, what? Because he's not mentioning everything. And you're not even mentioning everything, to be honest with you. Like, you're kind of just being like, well, see, he does make sense, but then you're not critically thinking, well, this was happening at that point, that was happening at this point. Well, what about this? Didn't this affect that? You're not asking the right questions or doing the right. You're just being like, well, in now time, you're like, well, it's not that bad, but you got to look at the things in between. And this is why, honestly, man, this is really why fucking history is important, dog. Like, this is a prime example of why history is important. And I'm not insulting homie's intelligence, but either you leaving out a lot of history or you don't feel like making this video more than 25 minutes, or like you truly believe what this man is saying to be facts. Now, what he's saying may not apply to your life, because that's really what I'm getting from listening to this in his last video. It feels like these things don't apply to his life at all, ever, or anymore. Once again, it's cool, but you can't act like just because you don't go through it, or Candace Owens may not go through it, or shit, Candace Owens don't go through it because that's the only black person you keep fucking bringing up. If they're not going through it, it's not the case. Like, come on, dog. And that victim mentality is not a thing. Some people do have it. We're not going to say it's not a thing at all, but stop trying to play like it's a generalization, because what you're doing is the exact same thing that people were mad about Kirk doing, is that you're making generalizations while also playing boo-boo the fool, being ignorant about it, and just straight talking like you're on your high horse about it. And you gotta, you know, we gonna go back to that word. You gotta have a little bit of empathy for your people, man. You gotta have a little bit of empathy for your people and understand that like what was being said was not okay if we're looking at the whole bigger picture. Like you just said, we gotta lift the veil up on this shit. We only lifting up half the veil. You like this. You like peekaboo. You doing the peekaboo shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in the grand scheme of things, dog, it gets flipped into you're racist, bro. He ain't utter not a damn word of racism, bro. Bro knew how to articulate Cuz's point better than he could. But even with that,
ain't that what I just said too? I'm like, yo, he takes advantage of those who can't articulate exactly what they want to say, so he says his point just to make the point stick for his benefit and his narrative. Dog, I can break this shit all apart, dog. I'm sorry, man. You losing, I'm winning, they losing.
Black folks are going to come up with a reason or excuse.
My soul good today.
It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of mass incarceration. It's because of the introduction of crack cocaine into the hood in the 60s and 70s. It's because of this. It's because of that, bro. Everybody got their sob story, and they got.
It's funny, I did say all of that, though. I ain't gonna lie. You know, some of this, we can make fun with this one. We can make fun with that, because he's talking shit to me right now. He's talking to me.
Come up with a reason or excuse. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of mass incarceration. It's because of the introduction of crack cocaine into the hood in the 60s and 70s. It's because of this. It's because of that, bro. Everybody got their sob story, and they all got over it, right? The Jews, Holocaust, 6 million of them died, bro. Everything taken from.
One, it wasn't 6 million. Two, that's a whole different conversation, Stevie. That's a whole different conversation, Stevie. If you want to talk about it, you can't talk about it on here. But, man, this ain't looking too good, man. This ain't looking too good. Like, I ain't knocking Stevie for what he doing, but I'm just, this is not even 80-20. This might be like 95-5, like 5% of what he said I might agree with, but the other, like 95%, I'm like, nah, bro, you off on this. I ain't with you on this one at all. Cause it's just his. I love how I keep pausing on these little funny ass faces that he's making when he makes his little dramatic pauses and shit. But, oh man,
what's the narrative with Jews now, bro? They run it. They got money. They not worried. Asians, they have their history here too.
You know, what's funny is that I feel like all of these cultures that he's mentioning have gotten some form of like a my bad from America. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got some form of my bad from Americans. And shit, man, I was doing my research. 'Cause I do research over here, man. Them same people don't like the other side like that either. I was looking at some shit where they thought they was communists. the people that you talking about, they thought they was communists 60 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So
the top earning race in America per capita. Right? Hell, even others that share our same melanin in Africa, bro, they can't stand African Americans because of this lazy, victimhood, entitled perspective that infects the whole community.
So he's not, that's the funny thing, homie ain't wrong there. Homie's not wrong there. Africans do not like us. Like a lot of them from Africa, there's a disconnect between Africans and Americans and Africans. They do not fuck with us. That's a fact. If it's those reasons, I don't know. Because I ain't never heard no Africans say that. I've only heard ninjas say it. We're going to say how my man said. I only heard ninjas say it. You know what I mean? So is that something that's really said amongst the Africans and stuff like that? I don't know. Maybe that might be something that's just a false narrative that I've been made to believe as well. Because I'm saying, like, I'm friends with Africans, and I ain't never heard nobody really say that. Ever. That might be made up, dog. Whatever, though.
Bruh, and once you be able to realize that, have some accountability, rip that shit off, dog, then you excel, bruh. I used to live that life, dog. Victimhood like a motherfucker, bruh. Rip that fucking mask off, dog. Shit, winning. Net worth. Bruh, when I was a victim, I didn't have not an ounce of net worth, bruh. Whatever.
So there we go. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Homie changed his tax bracket and shit. His tax bracket then changed a little bit. So he's falling in that category of, like, you know, who's the best person I can say where he's like, yo, Black lives don't matter to me or something like that, Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? We not saying he on this Lil Wayne shit as far as the status. I don't know his pockets and shit, but clearly the tax brackets changed. And once again, congratulations, dog. But just don't forget where you came from. You know what I'm saying? But I assumed that. I was like, it must be something that changed or whatever, because for you to come with this type of energy must mean that you now feel like you fit in these rooms with these same people because you got some bread now and you got a different tax bracket. That's usually when niggas like this be talking like that. That's usually when the tax bracket changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you better than certain people and shit. And maybe, you know, that could be something where that might be a problem with me. But I'm also not worried about that. But I've seen people do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people in our own community, they done got up out the hood or whatever, and now they frown upon everything and think that everything they knew was a lie. It's like, nah, you just did it better than most, and you found the loophole, i.e. social media, i.e. writing a book, i.e. merch, which you didn't have to go through that as much. I want to know what his experiences was like when he was working in corporate America and when he was in the well, y'all saying he was a Fed or whatever. So, the Fed thing is a little bit different. But, I just want him to ask his family about what their experiences in, like, the working world and in the working class and shit like that. Because I'm pretty sure he got family members that go through everything that he's saying ain't true. I'm pretty sure he has some out there. And is he calling them lazy? Is he saying that they have a victim mindset, or are they really experiencing this shit? Because all this sounds like is what he just said. I got a different tax bracket. I done got out of certain situations, so now my mindset's good, which is fine. You're supposed to level up all the time. So this is not a knock to the level up, but that's how you change up? People really be changing up like that?
Winning. Net worth. Bro, when I was a victim, I didn't have not an ounce of net worth, bro. Whatever the damn feds put in my damn bank account, bro. Spending money on bullshit, dog. But then you take that mask off, and now you're not looking through a black lens. You're looking through a whole world lens. You're taking everybody's information, everybody's game, everybody's perspective into consideration. Broadening your entire perspective, bro, the world opens up. And that was the goal.
One thing you said out of that, which is never the problem, opening up your perspective. That's the problem. People just don't open up their perspective. But to act like these other things don't happen, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But open up your perspective, dog. Open up your world. Don't let people keep you down. Don't let something that you can't control keep you down, because you can still get up out of it. I'm always going to scream that. And that's something that he's kind of screamed it a little bit, but I think he's just talking at motherfuckers and generalizing and shit. But
that was,
I pause on his faces making funny faces every time, dog. That shit funny. Like, every time he got that face like, yeah, I'm saying some fucked up shit. Fuck it.
Was the goal, dog. But, motherfuckers can't handle that mirror until they're ready to handle that mirror, dog. What else? The abortion video that went viral on Jubilee.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, when she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that?
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
I can't play that because if I play that, Jubilee gonna demonetize it, man. But if you were one of these angry, blue-haired feminists that feel he needs to die because of his belief on abortion, then you're the fucking devil, bro. You need to go watch that video in its entirety.
Yeah, that one I'm not too invested in on that one, even though I think it's very odd. I will say it's odd.
And see his justification for it, bro. He cooked. His justification for it is that we don't commit evil after evil. That life that was formed due to evil does not deserve to be taken because of evil. You don't follow evil with evil. And then the woman goes on to say, well, it's not a life.
Well, that's great to say because here we are, all of us as a collective, washing dirt with fucking dirt. Once again, half-ass Kirk doing half-ass truths. He's right. You know what I'm saying? You don't do evil with evil, but he's kind of halfway doing it, or he halfway did it. Sorry about that. You know what I mean? He halfway did it at the time. So it's like, what are we really talking about? I don't even think people really be seeing the hypocrisy. And when they explain these things and try to defend this man, because defending what he says is hard to do without contradicting yourself. I ain't even gonna lie. After what we got 2 25-minute videos, so after, you know, it seems like I did 2 hours of Stevie content. You know what I'm saying? So after 2 hours of Stevie content, you know what I'm saying? It's real funny watching this, man.
Life don't matter. It's just a clump of cells. Who gives a fuck? The baby's life, your daughter's life is more important, right? Whether you disagree, his justification for it came from a good place. It came from a good place, but he deserved to die because of his conviction in God. He deserves to die because of his conviction in God, what we're talking about. It's not about abortion. It's not about life. It's a conviction in God. Everybody has the right to live. He said, you have 2 ultrasounds. You have 2 ultrasounds. One comes from a loving couple. One comes from the act of a grape. Which one is it? Can you tell which one it is? And the woman goes on trying to illegitimize the life period, but the fact remains you cannot tell. They both deserve life regardless of how they got here. And I'm not a pro-lifer. I'm not a pro-abortion. It is what it is. I'm just emphasizing his point. Right, but he deserved to die because of that. Where you live.
So goes back to he doesn't deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? So anybody out here really saying people be deserving to die, that's a different conversation. That ain't my conversation. That ain't my narrative. My narrative is about stopping the divide, bringing us together, lifting the veil up completely. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to say lift the veil, do this, do that. But we not doing it all the way. We half stepping. We like half stepping out here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the big thing for me is that us as a society keeps on half stepping, peekaboo in the veil, pushing out what we want to push out because we don't want to feel like. Because sometimes we have to look at that mirror and maybe be like, well, maybe I might be a little racist too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I think people are afraid of, and that's everybody. Because like I said, everybody can be racist. So I think everybody's afraid, like he said, to put that mirror in front of our faces and be like, maybe I do have some fucked up thoughts and things that I agree with that might not be right for society or fit the society norms. Like, it's just, once again, we're too far developed as a society to still be here. You get what I'm saying? I think we're too far in to just still be here. But because the powers that be keep on throwing things in our faces to let us be stuck there, we're never going to get past this shit. We're never going to get past it. You know what I mean? Because we have people that make the videos like this that, because remember, I'm little old BITO on the couch, so my range and my reach is a lot different from these people that have 1 million subs, 500,000 subs, shit, 200,000 subs. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reach is different. And when I see these people on here not being authentic all the way, i.e. Mr. Knight here, I don't agree with him. I also don't think he's being all the way authentic, and I think people do save face to keep subs, to not upset the subs that may support that. Y'all see me, dog, from the moment we got into this whole bag, because I think the first moment we got here was with some Adam Calhoun and all that, you know what I'm saying? So you know me, I don't give a fuck about the subs when it comes to that. Like, you either gonna rock with me or you not. I'm not gonna ever cater to people just to make them happy. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people get into that, because at the end of the day, we're in a moist world where people do feel a way about how people perceive them online and X, Y, and Z. You know, people make apology videos and shit like that. And these people that have a brand and stuff, I get it, but also don't build your brand off of catering and pandering to shit. That's how I look at that. Like, the only way you avoid that is if you just be really authentically you and you stand on what you believe in, no matter how your fan base may feel. Because we all go through it when we on here, dog. With every fucking 5 subs you might lose, you gaining another 30, you gain another 15. So what's the problem? You feel me?
Literally have women out here saying,
you're not out here on no biggity shit and some anti-Semitism and any ism things and stuff like that. Be you, dog. You can always present and articulate something if you don't fuck with somebody. Like, you've seen me, I don't rock with Kirk at all. You know what I'm saying? But have I shitted on him as a person after his death? I don't think I have. Have I called him out of his name? I gave him a nickname, Kirky and stuff, but like, that's just, I give everybody a nickname, so that's not a disrespect for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Mr. Knight, Stevie, you know, say, you know, whatever. I give everybody a fucking nickname. But nah, man, just chill.
and he deserves to die because of that.
He deserves to be because he said that if his daughter got raped, she would have to go through with the pregnancy. So I don't care that he got shot.
And once again, like, look at these fucking Dark Knight Rises ass looking people that you be seeing posting the videos, dog. Like, all these people look like they don't have the mental fortitude to even process certain shit in life, bro. Like, they look like they hide in closets and cry if things go wrong and shit. Like,
he deserves to be
look at this shit. You got half your face. You know what I'm saying? Look at how these motherfuckers look. Anybody, just look at the characters on both sides that be doing this shit. They not all up here, dog. They may look good, look the part, whatever, but if anybody in their right mind wants to go set they shit up and be like, I'm gonna call the WWE fucking promo videos and shit. There's something wrong with them up there. You need to ignore those people. All those people that do this shit, you need to ignore these type of people. These people do not represent the entire society of people with logic and a brain. These people do not. And this is all sides. Anybody that's mocking death, they different.
He said that if his daughter got raped, she would have to go through with the pregnancy. So I don't care that he got shot.
Bitch ain't. Sorry, see, you got about the car. Yo, she ain't even got the shit in front of her face, dog. She didn't even want to own that shit. At least MAGA, at least the MAGA people, they got the music playing. They right up in the screen like, you monsters! How dare you guys do this? We are not gonna take this anymore. We are here. Rally up. 5,000. Like, at least they owning this shit. These motherfuckers, yeah, so you know, I don't think that shit, F this motherfucker, bro. Yo, everybody on some stupid ass shit, bro. Everybody on some dumb ass shit.
What
Howard
else?
Shit. Everybody.
The LeBron, the gymnast. I can't even remember the gymnast's name. I gave her fucking smoke too. I've given LeBron smoke too, bro. At the end of the day, he has never targeted black people. He's always
What? 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 Nigga, what? What? Huh?
The gymnast, I can't even remember the gymnast's name. I gave her fucking smoke too. I've given LeBron smoke too, bro. At the end of the day, he has never targeted black people. He's always isolated particular people that happen to be black. And
what? Nigga, what? Huh? What's that? What's that audio? Huh? Excuse me? Play it back one more time. What the what?
I've given LeBron smoke too, bro. At the end of the day, he has never targeted black people. He's always isolated particular people that happen to be black.
So I was just Michelle and Jones, but black pilot, Moroccan customer service caller, black lesbian surgeon. Sounds pretty specific to me, bruh. Sounds pretty specific to me, bruh. Every time I'm pausing on his funny ass faces and shit. Anytime you say something wild, this is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be like this. Anytime he says something crazy and I pause, he's got these faces.
And this is the problem, bro. First of all, the people that have become demonic because of the short second reels that they watch with no context, it just shows how much of an idiot.
This nigga just did the same thing. He started off the video with clips. He's talked his whole talking points off of the clips. Oh my God, the hypocrisy. It's because he got 1 million, huh? Now I'm gonna sound like a hater and be a funny nigga right now, but it's because he got 1 million, huh? He's got 1 million. He's acting crazy, huh? Hey man, get your shit, brother. Get your shit. But this nigga crazy, dog.
Y'all are, and how y'all are getting puppeteered and played. Everything entirely out of context. So that lets me.
So it's just one side getting played, because it sounds like you puppeteered and played too a little bit right now too. You just being a puppeteer and played on the other side. That's just what it sounds like to me. That's it. I'm just saying.
That if you're this pissed off about a fucking short snip that you saw that you didn't have any context on, you're a fucking idiot and you're a goddamn demon, because you allowed yourself to get this fucking psychotic based on something that's not even true. You're looking at a lie. You're looking at a manufactured narrative that they've created to make you feel this way about someone that feels the entire opposite. In reality, you're not going to find any video out here that highlights this man as a racist.
I'm assuming to you must assume that because he ain't say, I hate all black people, F N-words, all N-words should die and I think they deserve to burn in hell. Like, because he's not saying the triggery things that would be outright, that's outright racism. So because he's not saying that, he's not racist. But yeah, I'm turning this shit off, bro. Fuck this shit right now, bro. We're done here, dog. I can't even finish this closing argument right now because I got too many things to think about and say where I'm like, yo, what do we mean, bro? What do we mean? And I'm not even mad at him. I just don't want to finish it. I just don't want to finish it because you're not making no sense right now in the closing argument. I'm gonna finish it though. I'm a complete guy. I complete things all the way through. I
like this man as a white supremacist. Highlights this man as any of these negative things that y'all are putting on him. Y'all are just falling for the bullshit and falling for the propaganda. People out here thinking he deserves to die because of his pro-Israel stance. That means everybody that's pro-Israel deserves to die. You have the right to have that opinion, and he ain't the first one to have that opinion. That's probably the biggest contention throughout our entire history, bro. That shit's biblical. And we're sitting here getting mad at him because he feels a certain way that people have felt for eons. Who the fuck is you to think he deserves to die because of? Who the fuck is you, Jesus? But at the end of the day, it just shows who you are, right? As you easily played, that you are you're sheep. You're in the fucking matrix. You're doing exactly what the fuck they want you to do by showing you these little pockets of shit that don't have no truth to it, no context to it, and you running and gunning to the point that's pow. And then don't even let me get into the black people, bro. So disappointed, dog. This is even more eye-opening for me to see that you all can come with so much vitriol for someone that is not a fucking racist. But it's the same thing. You allow these little short-second reels to fuck you up.
Right.
In the head to be thinking that this man is Hitler. And then it shows how entitled black people are. How dare this man have anything negative to say about anybody that's black? He can't have an opinion on LeBron James because LeBron James is black. He can't have an opinion on Michelle Obama because of Michelle Obama is black. And then y'all fall for the narrative of him saying black people when he not a nan said black people about nothing. Only thing he's generalized were statistics. Statistically, black people do this. Statistically.
So he's seeing red right now because that's not the case in this whole 25-minute video. That's what he did. He said if I see a black pilot, he didn't bring up numbers for that. He just said if I see him, I wonder if it's DEI. You know, as far as the you know, the black woman thing, dog, which I'm not really gonna defend that, bro. Like, you know, if you want to think that that's what it was, then okay, cool. But you know, in what way, in what world are we out here being like, yeah? Because hold on, nigga, fuck that. Just like my man called homie racist for after he what he did to that girl in the train. I believe he called him a racist because he said, I got that white girl. All he said was, I got that white girl. He didn't say, I got that white bitch. He didn't say, I got that cracker bitch. He didn't say nothing out the ordinary. He said, I got that white girl. So what makes him racist versus what this dude's been saying, where he's got multiple clips? And not multiple clips. He's got multiple instances, because you can go and watch the whole 2 minutes that he's talking. So you talking about a 10-second, 15-second, 30-second clip, but he's got 3 minutes of talking space on set point. So how is you saying homie is racist for doing that, but he's not racist for this? Oh yeah, you got me all the way fucked up, Stevie.
Black people do that. Statistically, they're on 1 in 4.
Damn, Stevie got me fucked up out here, B. You got me all the way fucked up, bro. I'm gonna still like your shit and watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still subscribed, because I don't just unsubscribe because people have different points of mind. I just look at you funny after. That's all. I just look at you with the, you know what I'm saying, with that side eye shit, like, oh, you want some shit, huh?
Black fathers in the household. Statistically, blacks kill the most people in America per capita. Statistics is what's pissing y'all off. But then y'all fall for it and get played. So ain't no time.
I don't even remember him bringing up statistical numbers or nothing. I think he just always made a statement. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time he made a statement like, yeah, in the arguments he might bring up numbers because people is coming back with him with something, but his overall statement is his statements. Like, that's the part that we just forget it too. His statements are his statements, dog. Does he deserve to die because of his statements? We gonna keep saying no. But it's the statements, my nigga. Like, it's literally the statements, bruh. Goes back to, just like you said, you called homie, and I don't want to misquote him, actually. You know what I'm saying? So somebody let me know if I'm misquoting, but I'm almost certain that you definitely called homie a racist. He said, you the fucking racist, dog, or something, because he's ranting about that shit. And he said, I got that white girl. So if he got that white girl, how come he can't be racist for being like, yo, so I see that black pilot, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first thing I'm thinking is like, damn, like, is he qualified to fly this plane? Like, see, DEI, dog? Yeah, fuck out of here with this Stevie, man.
Talking to y'all.
This is a fuck out of here Stevie closing right now. Like, it's a fuck out of here.
Ain't no talking to y'all, bro.
I might even caption it like FOH, fuck out of here, Stevie. It might be FOH Stevie. This might be a FOH thumbnail Stevie. Still love for Stevie because I love all my brothers. But damn, bro.
I know that. I realize that, bro. It's like, it is what it is. You're going to have to go through your own journey to come out the other side to truly be awakened around this motherfucker, dog. They've done it on purpose because black folks are so emotionally driven, so emotionally triggered, so easily capitalized off on because of their emotions, bro. Well, Charlie Kirk don't like Juneteenth. A lot of black folks don't like Juneteenth. Hell, the majority of black people in America didn't know shit about Juneteenth until after George Floyd died. Juneteenth was only used as a propaganda piece to get the black vote. Juneteenth really should piss you off because look now what the Democrats is doing. Play, bro.
I'm like 34. I'm like 70-30 on that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does he mean though? Because like the 70 B's, like I feel like, you know, some people might have not known. Like, once again, you generalizing too many black folks right now. As if like, I don't know what circle or who you be around this shit. What type of black history being taught around you to be saying this shit? Let me take back even what I said. I'm not 70-30 on what he said. I'm just shocked that way he said. This closing arguments is shocking.
Juneteenth was only used as a propaganda.
Because I will say, like, they gave us one. It's kind of like Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, like, shit takes time sometimes, dog. Like, I don't understand. Like, why can't shit sometimes take time? Like, it might have been propaganda, though. Like, I'm not going to deny him on that because it did seem mad random. Like, because I don't remember when they established that as, like, an official day off. I do not remember. But it did seem mighty strange that all of a sudden they did it. But this goes back into, like, I just hate I don't play the government games anyway. This goes back to, I think that's why I said I'm, like, 70-30, but, you know.
Hell, the majority of black people in America didn't know shit about Juneteenth until after George Floyd died. Juneteenth was only used as a propaganda piece to get the black vote. Juneteenth really should piss you off because look now what the Democrats is doing. Play, bro.
What are they doing?
Juneteenth was only celebrated in Texas. And if there was a little pocket of black folks that know the history, they knew it. But for the most part, black folks didn't know shit about Juneteenth. But the government knew, ooh, if we can get all black.
So you need to step outside, my nigga. Like, just because in Texas, where the fuck you at, don't mean like this shit that niggas don't know. Just because the niggas you don't know, the niggas you know don't mean everybody else don't know, brother. This is the problem too. This generalization shit. And I got to do a better job at that myself because I have this problem. And it's funny watching somebody else do it because I have this same problem and I've been working on it. And you can't do this. I don't know if I've done it at all in this video. I've definitely done it somewhere. And somebody was like, don't say y'all, because I do it. You feel me? I be categorizing people. And I was like, my bad. I ain't mean to y'all of this shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so.
Black folks to believe this day was the real day slavery was ended and get the Democratic vote behind it, bro. We got them. We got them. Play like a fucking fiddle, bro. That's why Juneteenth pisses me off for how it's politically used to capitalize off black folks where we.
I mean, if that's to piss you off, then this whole politics should piss you off because what do these politicians need to get every time? What's their main focus and what wild shit they do during their campaigns to get it? We need the black vote. I got some ketchup. I got some hot sauce. Need the black vote. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. They've gotten very ridiculous. I don't know what the Republicans do. I ain't gonna lie. But I know they definitely be trying to seize the black vote too. Like, they definitely do. So, it's just the game, bro. We all playing the game that we don't know the rules to completely, clearly.
We have these crazies out here doing the shit that they fucking doing. And I hate to get so political, bro. This video was just meant to call out the cap, call out the bullshit, bro. But y'all ain't gonna recognize it. Ain't nothing nobody can say to y'all that are gone to the point to celebrating a man's death, bro. Y'all are cooked. Y'all are cooked. I just hope y'all continue to cook yourselves. You know, when I post this and read the comments of y'all motherfuckers still trying to figure out a way to demonize him,
Shit, my brother, I did a whole hour video for you, brother. Shit, you ain't got a comment section for me. You got an entire video, B.
Me, say he's Hitler, say I'm an Uncle Tom, blah, 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 blah. All y'all doing is telling on y'all fucking self, bro. And the more y'all telling yourself, the more y'all can identify yourself, the more we can really get this fracture popping off where we can separate good from evil. Because y'all motherfuckers is evil, right? Y'all victim to it. Y'all don't fucking know better because y'all can't think for yourself, right? Group think. Group fucking think, bro. But anyway, with that, find me a fucking video of Kirk out here really being on some racist shit, dog, and we'll talk about it. But until that, bro, y'all are out here celebrating a man's assassination that only wanted the greater good, his version of the greater good. And even if you ain't fucking with that, his whole MO was to have anybody, regardless of their race, religion, background, age, whomever, come and debate him so we can have conversations, because that's everything wrong in the world, bro. That we're not allowed to disagree. And if you disagree with me, that means you have to die. The biggest problem in the history of...
I'm done with this. I don't want to hear that every single time because I just hate that we're taking what a few silly-ass Dark Knight Rises and WWE promo people are on their phones doing wild things. I don't like that part. Look at every single time we pause on this silly ass face, bro. He's making a silly face every time I pause, dog, because it's meant to be. Because the shit's silly. The shit is silly, B. But I guess his overall point is he doesn't deserve to die. I agree. That part is the only part I agree with. Literally, it's the only part I agree with, dog. But everything else, man, I think we are not aligned in the same way of how we view what this man has been saying. We're aligned with he didn't deserve to be taken out. But watching this and listening to homie for the last, don't forget to like the video, subscribe as well too. I feel like I ain't say that in a minute because I've been really investing into this, but it feels like for the last 2 videos I've watched of Stevie's, I've gotten 50 minutes of Stevie, pause. You know what I mean? And it feels like his gripe seems to be with the victim mindset and having people think that he deserved it. He's been online too much. He's been online too much, you know what I'm saying? Because what people post online versus the conversations that people have, It's two different things. It's two very different things. And I'm glad that I didn't get fueled by the things I've seen online, but I'm glad that I've had conversations with people. I've been able to be in DMs. I've been able to just have conversations because it's something that, you know, you need to have conversations about. You know what I mean? Whether you agree, disagree, don't understand. Because a lot of people also don't understand. A lot of people don't truly know. You know what I mean? There's some people I've had conversations with, and I'm talking about history facts and shit, and they're like, that happened? This was going on? So there's clearly a disconnect on what was being taught to us. You know what I mean? There's clearly a disconnect on that because the more history you know, the more you understand with this, and the more you accept half truths and half tales, the more you sound like a Stevie. You know what I'm saying? You sound one-sided and generalizing versus like, okay, I know this happened and I know this is a part of the game, but this is what's going on in front. And that's everybody's problem right now, is that the whole veil that everybody's talking about lifting up, nobody's lifting it up. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, you can say the statements, but there's counters to all those statements. And I put things in real time context, not in 2025 context, because everything is a chain reaction that happens for a reason, which leads into where we're at right now. That's just how life works. That's just how the cookie be crumbling. So for me to skip a lot of things and then just jump to 2025 and be like, see, this is why I think this shit's dumb, I think that's dangerous as well. That's a dangerous mentality to have, because now you're missing a lot of the facts. And missing a lot of the facts and having half truths could lead you down a path that fucks you up in the long scheme, in the bigger scheme of things. You can't always go off of what you feel may be right or what somebody's saying right. Go read a little bit. Go watch a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of information out here for us to educate and tool ourselves up with the proper knowledge. You know what I mean? And once again, history, I call it his story. You know what I mean? Because it's a perspective. History is all about a perspective. It's his story written from somebody else's perspective. So if you gather up a bunch of history and you read different perspectives, you can form your own form of opinion and stuff going that route. But if you're forming your opinion like we watched in the last couple of weeks based off of half truths, half information, misinformation, it's a dangerous slope and a spiral effect of misleading information every single time. So I'm not going to rant too much on this because I've been going off. I've been going off. Like, this is crazy. But this is definitely fun. I'm concluding here. Actually, no, before I conclude,